very difficult task tonight because now you've heard Tally. Any time that she's not singing is only going to be disappointment and agony. We just want to listen to that all the time. But I'm going to say a few things anyway. So our theme tonight is Pop Goes the Bible. I'm not sure if Tally even realised how funny that was when we came up with that title, but since she didn't grow up on English rhymes and verses. What the Bible brings, what pop music brings to the Bible, and what the Bible brings to music. And it's hard for me as someone who mostly works on texts to really also concentrate on the music, but I'm really going to try and do that. And I think it's not just hard for me, it's hard for many people, that often you find books are being now written about the Bible and opera, the Bible and Handel. One of my colleagues has written a wonderful book about that, Deborah Rook. But very often it comes down to the lyrics, to the words. It's not very often that the music, that people can really point to what the music is bringing to the Bible and what Bible is bringing to the music. So I'm going to try to bring that out in specific cases, and especially in one that we will come to. But to turn now to Delilah to say a few things about that. So first of all, of course, this is not an academic enterprise. We would find it hard if we were going to use academic criteria here to demonstrate that this is the biblical Delilah. Because when you look at the words, and you've all got them here, because you're not here just to rest, you've got to study as well. If you look at the words, you see right away, it's not retelling the story of the biblical Delilah. It's very different. So first of all, is it just happens to be the name? Is this nothing to do with biblical Delilah? Well, I would say right away, we are entirely justified in starting with this song, not just because it's fabulous and Tally sang it so incredibly, but because it brings something out about the story of the Bible, which is Samson's passion for Delilah. That you remember that right before the story of Samson and Delilah, there's another story, a little prelude, where Samson sleeps with another woman, a prostitute. And the Philistines realize he's there and they're coming, they're going to attack him. And he is able to get up from her bed in the middle of the night. He realizes it's going to happen. He's got a lot of self-control about his survival. And he leaves, it's no problem. It never says that he loves her. We don't know her name. She's a nameless woman, and Samson had a weakness for women, and the Philistines knew that too. But Delilah is different. There's a passion there that he feels for her, which is why he goes as far as he does. And I think this song, even if it's not directly about the biblical Delilah, is about a man with a passion so great that he can't bear to imagine this woman with someone else, even though she's unfaithful. Which is another thing that this song brings out about the biblical story of Samson and Delilah. You might think, why is it? Samson must have realized right away, he wasn't stupid, he must have realized there was something wrong. Why was she constantly asking him, what is the secret of your strength? And as soon as he told her something, suddenly the Philistines would appear in their bedroom. He must have known that something was going on, but somehow he always put it out of his mind until, in his case, it was the end of him, that passion that he was always willing to use to override what should have been his natural suspicions. And I think that comes out very strongly in this story of someone who feels so strongly that in the end he lets it get to him to the extent that he has to kill this woman, not a happy ending. But the other thing I think we see in this musically is the my. That, and hearing it tonight, hearing Tally sing that's what Samson also felt. That was the very heart of what kept him, what really made him jeopardize his relationship with God, give up on his divinely ordained task to, although in the end which he succeeded in doing, to kill the Philistines. And the repetition there, and the soulfulness and the longing and the my when at the very moment when she was not his, she was someone else's. And I think that's an extraordinary aspect of this song. Finally, there's no one who hears this song, I think, without thinking of the biblical Delilah, that rightly or wrongly, and I would say wrongly, it's a complicated story, we associate the biblical figure of Delilah with every prostitute in some ways, with every harlot, with every woman who deceives a man. That name, above all names, is synonymous with that sort of activity. And so when we hear this song, we are not only can this song tell us something, make us think in a certain way about the biblical Delilah, but the powerful, haunting music, the emotional, the heightened emotion of it, all associated with that name. It's the Delilah, the singing of the Delilah name, in that very musical, the musicality of the name itself, that the words of the Bible, the name of that biblical figure brings into the song. It wouldn't be the same song, I think, without the name, would it?
And there is 20, just to add, there is 25 songs that were written with Delilah.
25?
Yes, pop songs.
Yeah.
I looked yesterday. Homework. So 25 songs. So definitely there is something about the name.
Yeah. And it's a kind of shorthand. There's a sort of code. You say Delilah, everybody has an image. And of course that's an important thing in songs and in music. There isn't time. You can't write a dissertation on it. And you need to evoke a lot in simple ways. And Delilah, the name, works in that way also. We are now going to turn to a very different subject. And that is the story of the near sacrifice of Isaac, which has also inspired. I didn't know there were 25 songs about Delilah. I don't know how many there are about the sacrifice of Isaac. Of course, in classical music, in choral music, in church and synagogue music, there are many. But in popular music, I don't know, but we have some here.